Hello again. I'm going to show you Prick and Pounce design transfer method. This is a really accurate way of putting a design onto a piece of fabric or onto a canvas if you're a painter. This method was used by the old masters for hundreds of years, so it's well tried and tested. This is the design that I'm going to demonstrate with. It's one that I've drawn myself, but you can use any design you like, whether it's from a magazine or a photograph. This is it once it's been transferred onto your embroidery fabric using this Prick and Pounce method. This is a Prick and Pounce set available from the website, and inside here we've got 3 colours of powder. There's black, grey and white for use on different colours of fabric. We've also got a Pounce pad and a pricker, and then there's a free design for you to have a practice on as well. You'll also need a few extra pieces, so a little bit of tape, sticky tape, some tracing paper, and then 2 pencils. You'll need one to draw your design onto the paper and another coloured pencil to draw onto the fabric. Place the design you want to make a pricking of down onto a flat surface and place a standard piece of tracing paper on top of the design so the design sits in the centre of the paper. Using a dark coloured pencil, make sure it's sharp, carefully trace the design onto the tracing paper. Take your time over this, try to be as accurate as you can. The more accurately you work each stage, the more accurate your finished embroidery will be. Hold the tracing paper firmly in one corner and just lift up the other end to make sure that you haven't missed any of the lines out. You will need a soft pad to place your tracing onto. I'm going to use a small padded beading cushion, but a folded towel will work just as well. Next you need the pricker to prick the holes through the tracing paper. Holding the tracing paper in place, carefully prick holes along the design lines about 2 to 3 millimeters apart. Again, be as accurate as you can with this, pricking the holes exactly on your design lines. Take extra care when going around curves just to make sure you get a nice smooth curve. Place your holes closer together if it's a really tight curve. Just to check you have pricked your whole design, hold the tracing paper up to the light so it shines through the holes. You can see here I've missed one edge of the leaf, but I can go back and re-prick those holes. Place your embroidery fabric onto a flat, smooth surface. Position your finished pricking in place, and you can just secure that with 2 pieces of tape. I'm using the white Pounce powder so that it shows up clearly on the dark fabric. Get your Pounce pad and dip it into the powder. Just knock off the excess, like so. Starting at one end of your design, just work small, firm, circular movements over the holes in the pricking. Just lift at the edge of the pricking to make sure you're using enough Pounce powder and that it shows through on the fabric. Pick up more powder if you need to, and don't worry if you spill a bit, it will dust off at the end. Continue to work over the whole design, pushing the powder through the holes with the Pounce pad. When you've finished, carefully lift up the bottom of the pricking just to check that the powder's gone through the whole design. If not, just lay the pricking back down and put some more powder on, pushing it through the holes that you've missed. Then you can remove your tracing. Join up the dots using a coloured pencil. I'm going to work this design in gold work, so I'm using this yellow colour which will match the gold. It will also show up on the fabric. Use a nice sharp pencil to make sure you get thin, accurate lines. If the pencil doesn't show on your fabric, then you could use paint with a fine brush. Don't have your paint too wet, and just try it on a scrap piece of fabric to make sure it doesn't bleed into the fibres. Your transferred design, once you've finished, should look something like this.